Hello everyone, myself C.H. Ramaya, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at Vigyan Institute of Technology and Science, Deshmukhi. In this semester, I am going to handle for you Measurements and Instrumentation course. So, what is the importance of measurements? What is the introduction about this course? Let us see in this first lecture. Okay, course objectives. Course objective is what we are going to study about in this course. So that is mean course objectives. So first objective of this course is to introduce the basic principles of all measuring instruments. Basic principles of all measuring instruments. The second objective of this lecture is to import the knowledge of current transformers and potential transformers, which are used to measure the high voltage and high currents. Like when you are going bus or traveling, so you will see the different high tension lines. So how we are going to measure that voltages and currents? We are going to study about this in this subject. The third objective of this course is to deal with the measurement of voltage, current, power, energy. So how we are going to measure this voltage, power, energy? Okay. Now fourth objective of this course is to import the knowledge of transducer. Okay. What do we mean by transducer? So the non-electrical quantities can be converted into the electrical quantities. Okay, if you take example, if you walk on the footpath in the Japan, so the electricity is producing. That is called piezoelectric transducers. So that means the pressure, whenever the pressure or force is exerted on the piezoelectric, so the electricity is generated. So how we are going to understand that? You are going to study about the transducers. Okay, so the next course outcomes. That means what is meant by course outcome is at the end of the semester, at the end of this course, so what you should able to, okay, you should able to analyze the different types of measuring instruments, their construction, operation and characteristics. Okay, at the end of this course you should able to analyze the different types of measuring instruments. Okay, the second outcome of this course is apply the knowledge of instrument transformers. Okay, what is the instrument transformer? What is the instrument transformer? What are the different types of instrument transformers? Where you have to apply that? Where you are going to analyze the transformers? Next, the third course outcome of this course is identify the instrument should be suitable for typical measurements. That means you want to measure the high voltage. What is the instrument? It must be suitable. Okay, to maintain the accuracy. If you want to measure the low voltage, what is the instrument you are going to choose? Okay, the next outcome of this course is measure the electrical parameters using bridges. That means the other electrical parameters are resistance, inductance, capacitance. Okay, how we are going to measure? So by using the bridges, you should able to analyze that. You should able to analyze that. So next the last course outcome of this course is apply the knowledge about the transducers. Okay, apply the knowledge about the transducers. Okay, so let us see each and every one by one. Okay, the next slide. The next slide is lecture 1, learning objectives. The first lecture is learning objectives of this first lecture is to introduce the measuring instruments. The second objective of this lecture is to understand the characteristics of measuring instruments. The third objective of this lecture is classification of measuring instruments. That means how the measuring instruments are classified. The next slide. So introduction to the measuring instruments. So what is meant by an instrument? The instruments which are used to measure any quantity are called as measuring instruments. So if I give the daily life example, if you want to measure the weight, so what is the instrument we are using to measure the weight? Weighing machine. So weighing machine, by using the weighing machine we are measuring the weight of the human body, weight of any physical quantity. And let me take one more example to measure the temperature. What is the instrument we are using to measure temperature? Thermometer. So by using thermometer we are going to measure the temperature. So without an instrument we are unable to measure. Okay, measurement, that is the importance of the measurement. But this course mainly covers electrical and electronic measurements and instruments. That means what are the basic electrical quantities? The basic electrical quantities are voltage and current. So therefore the example of electrical instruments are voltmeter, ammeter. So voltmeter is a device which are used to measure the voltage, whereas the ammeter is a device instrument which is used to measure the current. Okay. So let us see each and every one. So now let me give the small example. So thermometer, see during this COVID-19 pandemic situation, every organization, every institute are using thermometers to check the human body temperature. So what is the temperature of this body? So we are going to use that. Without an instrument, we are unable to record the value. Okay. The next example is energy meter. So everybody using the electricity. So how much energy is consumed, we should know at the end of the month. So it is then only it is easy to generate the electricity bill. Okay, this energy meter will record the energy consumed by the customer at the end of the month, so that it is easy to generate the electricity. Okay, this is the importance of the measuring instruments. Next one is characteristics of measuring instruments. So, every instrument must possess some characteristics. So, what are those characteristics? That means if you want to purchase an instrument, so what are the characteristics you want to choose? Like when you are purchasing your mobile, so what are the features you are going to see? So, what is the battery size? What is the resolution camera? So, in the same manner, when you are going to purchase any instrument, so what are the characteristics you have to see? So, there are some characteristics for every instrument must possess. So, first one is accuracy, second one is precision, linearity, sensitivity, dead time, dead zone, resolution. So, how these characteristics must be, whether these characteristics must be high or low. So, let us see one by one. So, next one. So, before going to that, I want to clarify the basic definitions of measured value and the true value. So, what is meant by a measured value? So, measured value is the value calculated using measuring instrument. So, let me take example. Now, you are sitting under the ceiling fan. Now, I want to calculate the speed of the fan. So, I take the tachometer. Generally, tachometer is a device which is used to measure the speed of any rotational body. So, I take the tachometer. By the tachometer, I record the speed of the fan. So, let me take the speed of the fan by using this measuring instrument is 1499 rpm. 1499 rpm. Now, but what is the actual speed? That is rated speed of the measuring that fan given by the manufacturer. The rated speed of the fan is 15 rpm. So, this is called our true value. Okay, but by using the measuring instrument, what is the value that 1499 rpm? Okay, so this is the measured value and true value difference. So, therefore, every instrument is not 100% accuracy in the universe. So, every instrument must exhibit some error. So, how can we define this error? Error is defined as the deviation of measured value with respect to the true value. That means how far the measured value with respect to the true value and how near the measured value with respect to true value. So, the formula for error is measured value minus true value. If you want to take the percentage error. So measured value minus true value by true value into 100. If you multiply with 100, then you will get the percentage of the error. So the error must be always very low as possible. So next one, accuracy. Let us see accuracy. What is meant by accuracy? Accuracy is a how closely you are measuring the value. Okay, the degree of closeness of measured value with respect to the true value we are calling as accuracy. That means how closely we are measuring. Let me take just now I give an example 1499 RPM. By using some other instrument, we have calculated that the speed of the fan is 1498 RPM. Now tell me which instrument is very high accurate, whether the instrument 1 or instrument 2. So instrument 1 is very high accurate compared to the instrument 2 because the instrument 1 reading is 1499 RPM whereas the instrument 2 is reading is 1498 RPM. So first instrument reading is very close to the true value, that is 1500 RPM. Therefore, we always prefer high accuracy instruments. Next one, precision. What is meant by a precision? The most repeatable value or reproducible value out of set of records we are calling as a precision. That means, let me take an example. Two persons are there. The first person calculating the current flowing through the current, so 2 amperes of current. So he has taken the 1 ammeter, he sent the 2 amperes current into that ammeter. So he conducted that experiment 5 times. Okay, first time he got 1.9 amperes, second time he got 1.8 amperes, third time he got 1.9 amperes, fourth time he got 1.9 amperes, fifth time he got 1.6 amperes. Now tell me, in this set of records, what is the most repeatable or reproducible value? So 1.9 got 3 times, therefore this 1.9 is the precision value. Okay, precision value. Okay, the same experiment conducted by another person. Okay, and taken by another experiment. Okay, it's the same person, same experiment is conducted by same person, but he has taken the another instrument. Okay, first time he got 1.8, second time he got 1.7, third time he got 1.8, fourth time he got 1.8, fifth time he got 1.2. Now tell me, out of this set of record, what is the most repeatable value? 1.8. Now tell me, he conducted the experiment, same experiment, different instrument. First instrument precision is 1.9, second instrument precision is 1.8 because most repeatable value in the both the instruments, 1.9 and 1.8. Now tell me, first instrument is precision and accurate, whether the second instrument is precision but not accurate. Because this 1.9 value is very close to the true value, that is 2 amperes. Okay, so this is the difference between the precision and accuracy. So we always prefer high precision instrument so that we may not lose the accuracy. So I am giving the commenting that okay, all accurate instruments are precise, but precise instrument need not to be accurate. So we always prefer the high precision and high accurate instruments. So coming to the next property is linearity. What is the linearity means? When there is an input to the instrument, there must be output linear with linear relation so that we may not lose the accuracy. So a measure of how does is the output of an instrument to a straight line is nothing but our linearity. We always prefer the linear instrument so that we may not lose the accuracy. We should not prefer the non-linear instruments because non-linear instruments lead to the low accuracy. So next characteristic is sensitivity. Next characteristic is sensitivity. So what is meant sensitivity means? It is the change in output to the change in input. That means how the instrument is responding to the change in input. If any small change in the input, the output must be changes. Now let me take an example. Okay, if you electrocardiogram, okay, ECG, if you go to the hospital ECG, even very small pulse changes in human body, the instrument must be respond. So we always prefer the high sensitive instrument so that we may not lose the accuracy when we are measuring the quantities. The next characteristics of this instrument is dead time. So what is meant by this dead time? Dead time is the time taken by any instrument to move the pointer from its initial position. That means every instrument must exhibit this dead time. What is the reason behind this dead time is? The reason behind this dead time is inertia of the instrument. Okay, every instrument must possess inertia. So we cannot avoid the dead time, but we can reduce the dead time. Okay, so this dead time must be very low so that we may not lose the accuracy. So when you are selecting the instrument, we should use low dead time instruments. Okay. Next characteristic is dead zone. So what is meant by a dead zone? So this is the minimum input. This is the minimum input beyond which the instrument will respond. That means you have seen in the laboratory that whenever you have given some input to the instrument, okay, for small inputs it will not respond. Okay, so minimum input we have to apply to respond that instrument. So that is called dead zone. So if you take the example for diode, okay, diode has a cut-in voltage. What is the cut-in voltage means? See, for silicon it is 0.7. That means whenever you give the 0.7 voltage, beyond that only the diode starts conducting. Okay, before that the diode will not turn on. So that is called the cut-in voltage or pinch off voltage. So in the same manner, instruments also will exhibit the dead zone. So this is the minimum input beyond which the instrument will respond is called dead zone. The next characteristic is resolution. So what is meant by resolution? Resolution means what is the smallest output that we can measure by using this instrument is called resolution. Now tell me, higher the resolution, higher the accuracy. So we always prefer the high resolution instruments, okay, so that we will not lose the accuracy. So resolution, the formula for resolution is full scale value in the instrument. Okay, what is the full scale value? If you take what is the full scale value means, if you take the ammeter 0 to 10 ampere ammeter. So what is the full scale value of the 0 to 10 amperes ammeter? 10 amperes. So 10 amperes is the full scale value. So full scale value is total number of divisions. How many divisions are there in that scale? How many divisions are there in the scale? So this is called the resolution. So we always prefer the high resolution instrument so that we may not lose the accuracy. The next one is let us moving to the classification of measuring instruments. So what are the different classification of instruments? So generally the instruments are classified into mainly three types. So first one is indicating instruments. So you have conducted the laboratory you have used the indicating instruments. Okay, these indicating instruments, let us say voltmeter, ammeter you have used in the laboratory. Indicating instruments. So but these indicating instruments are again two types: analog instruments and digital instruments. Analog instrument will have the pointer. Okay, so that in that scale you have to going to take the readings. Okay, but whenever the digital instruments are there, it will display the number. Okay, it will display the number. Now next coming to the next instrument is recording instruments. So what are the recording instruments? The next one is next one is integrating instruments. Next slide is integrating instruments. Next slide is integrating instruments. Next slide is integrating instruments. So what is mean integrating instruments? Means so this give the energy meter is the best example for integrating instruments. That integrating instruments are nothing but it will integrate the energy consumed at the end of the month. It will integrate the energy consumed by the end of the month so that it is easy to generate the electricity bill. So there are different types of instruments we have seen. The next slide coming to the next one is what are the essential requirements of indicating instruments. So now in this I am going to explain about these essential requirements of any indicating instruments. Okay, so the first two, what are the main system in the indicating instrument is moving system. Okay, what is the moving system? So that is called to move the pointer from its initial position. We require one torque called deflection torque. So how you are generating the deflection torque? There are different types of techniques are available to generate the deflection torque. Okay, thermal effect, induction effect, heating effect. So there are different types of effects are there to generate the deflection torque. That means, let me give an example, motoring action. So generally you know the working principle of motor. So whenever current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, it will experience the force. So that means it is our responsibility to create the magnetic field inside the instrument, and also you have to place the conductor. Okay, whenever you allow this conductor, so it will experiences the force, so that the pointer will move. So this is the deflection torque. Now tell me, once the deflection torque is generated inside the instrument, okay, it will continuously rotate inside the meter. Then who will stop this? Okay, to take the reading, okay, one more force we require called controlling torque. Okay, controlling force or controlling torque denoted by TC. This controlling torque must be equal and opposite to the deflection torque. Equal and opposite to the deflection torque. Therefore, whenever the steady state, in the steady state, controlling torque is equal to the deflection torque, then only you are going to take the reading. Otherwise, the controlling torque, without controlling torque, that is, the pointer always continuously rotate inside the meter. So next, coming to the next torque required is called damping torque. So what is the importance of this damping torque? Means before going to take the readings, the pointer will make so many oscillations. The pointer will make so many oscillations. So if the pointer is making so many oscillations, so when you are taking the reading, you may lose the accuracy. You may lose the accuracy. So that we should not lose the accuracy. Therefore, by using this damping torque, so this damping torque will reduce the number of oscillations given by the instrument, the pointer, so that this damping torque is required. So what are the techniques we are using to generate this damping torque? There are eddy current damping, air friction damping, fluid friction damping. We will see in the next coming classes. Now controlling torques, there are different types of controlling torques are available. Spring control torque is there, gravity control torque is there. So there are different techniques to develop the controlling torque inside the instrument. So let us see in the next class. Okay. So summary. Coming to the summary of this first lecture is, so what I discussed till now. First one is I given the course objectives and course outcomes. So next one is what is meant by error, what is the measured value and what is the true value. Measured value is the value taken by using the instrument, measuring instrument. True value is nothing but our actual value or rated value. So deviation of measured value from the true value we are calling as a error. And we also stated that all accurate instruments are precise, but precise instrument need not to be accurate. So, and also we have discussed the different types of characteristics of an instrument: accuracy, precision, linearity, sensitivity, dead time, dead zone, resolution. So, I am giving that we always prefer high accuracy, high precision, linear, high sensitivity, okay, high resolution, but low dead time, low dead zone instrument, so that we may not lose the accuracy when you are recording the instruments, when you are using the instruments. And we always prefer. So the next point of this lecture is we have classified the different types of instruments. Those are called indicating instruments, recording instruments, and integrating instruments. So again, these indicating instruments are two types. One is analog instruments and digital instruments. So let us see one by one. Okay, in the next class. Thank you.